So what we've got to do again is to understand the journal entry to account for the revaluation loss. Now let's read through the question. We've got on the 1st of January 2000 X4, Pisces Limited has freehold property carried in the accounting records at $600,000. It says that the asset has previously been revalued, and the gain in the revaluation reserve is going to be $224,000. So what we've just seen in our previous illustration is that if we are going to impair this asset, we're going to want to use up that revaluation surplus first of all. Now the depreciation for the year is going to be $12,766, and this has already been charged to the statement of profit or loss. So we do have a little bit of accumulated depreciation. And very, very helpfully for us, they've shown us the carrying amount of the property, but they have given it to us broken down between the cost account of $600,000 and the depreciation or accumulated depreciation of $12,766. Here is the kicker though, everybody, because on the 31st of December 2000 X4, so the same year that the depreciation is applicable for, the property was valued at $350,000, but this hasn't been accounted for. And that is why we've now got to figure out how do we take into consideration this loss. So we have been given two answers, A or B. We've got to choose between them. So what I think would be best is if you just pause the video, have a quick think, and then when you go ready to go through the solution, just press play. Well, let's go through the first two sections of the double entry that really don't change. Doesn't matter whether we are revaluing up, revaluing down, or revaluing down after we're revalued up. So the first thing we've got to do is we've got to bring the cost account in line with the new revaluation. In order to do that, we're going to need to credit the cost account, which would be debit normally, and to bring it from $600,000 to $350,000, we're going to have to credit it by $250,000. Okay, so hopefully you got that one, guys. Right, the next thing we've got to do is to wipe out the accumulated depreciation. Well, we don't really need to work out what that is, which is lucky for us this time, because they've told us that the accumulated depreciation this year is $12,766. Remember, that is going to be a credit account, so in order to wipe it out, we're going to need to debit it. So in Act number 2, we've got to debit the accumulated depreciation account by $12,766. So overall, this has given me a credit of $237,234, in which case we're going to need an equal debit. Where does this normally go on impairment? Normally take it to the statement of profit or loss. But this time, remember, we have already revalued our asset. The revalued amount sitting in our revaluation surplus, as per the question, is that $224,000. So that is what we're going to utilise first. Therefore, we're going to have to debit that with $224,000. Now, we know we've got to debit it to wipe it out, because if it is a gain, it would have gone in there originally as a credit. So then finally, the last thing we've got to do is just to take the remaining impairment to the statement of profit or loss, which is therefore going to be a debit of $13,234. So, which of these answers is going to agree to what we have put down in our solution?